gown from Zuhair Murad's 2025 Spring Couture collection. So if this is something that you're interested in, let's get started. Okay, so for my sketch, I'm using this fashion figure walking pose. You can use any walking pose that you already have. However, if you want to learn how to do this exact walking pose fashion figure, then feel free to reference my previous video. I show step-by-step how to create this fashion figure from start to finish. Okay, so to start, I am just creating the basis outline for my sketch. And so for this, I'm just getting the base silhouette of the garment. Later on, we'll go ahead and add all the creases and the folds. But for now, we're just gonna focus on building the outline. Okay, next I'm going to be focusing on creating the beaded applique that is on the upper part of the dress. So for this, I am just mimicking the shapes and design that is on the reference photo. And from here, it just looks like they are leaves and different forms and shapes of leaves. So let me go ahead and show you guys just a bigger reference of exactly what I'm doing. So now that we have the basis outline of our sketch, I'm then getting a Micron pen in 01 and basically just outlining every part of the sketch. Okay, now that we have that done, I am now moving on to adding shadows into the body. So for this, I am using a Winsor Promarker in the color tan, and I'm just creating all of those shadow points. And then once that's done, I'm going back in with the color tan and just recoloring those areas. Okay, next I'm just going in and adding details to the face, such as like eyelashes and eyes and eyebrows, and then coloring in the lips, and then going back into shading. So for this, I'm going in with the Promarker Caramel, and I'm just creating outer shading outlines. And then after that, I'm going back in with the Promarker Tan just to blend everything in. Okay, so now we're going to be creating the creases and folds on the garment, and so for this you're going to just want to make curved lines between those crease points and try to create some dimension, like some big, some smaller lines. And I don't know what happened, but for some reason my camera did not record the part of me creating the other creases and folds. But if you just look at the reference photo and mimic the creases that are in those designated areas, you should be fine. And then next we are just going to go in with the red Promarker and just start coloring the whole garment. And if you want to know what color I use for this, I use the Winsor Promarker in the color Rubi. Next we're going to be creating the embroidery. So for this, you're going to need a white gel ink pen. And what I'm doing is I'm just creating little mini dots literally around the outline of my shape. So you're going to want to do that to each little leaf that you have on your illustration. Okay, so now I'm just going back in and adding more white dots kind of sporadically in the center and overall of the embroidered leaf. As you can see in the reference photo, there's kind of like sequins and beads throughout the whole trim. So I'm just adding more, and then in some sections there's also some little black embellishments, so I am just also going back in and adding some in those areas, and then also outlining some of my white spots just to give a more 3D dimensional effect. Okay, next we're going to be working on the creases and folds, and for this I'm using my Winsor Promarker in the color Burgundy. I'm just using a slightly darker color than the red we used before, just so that we can highlight those crease areas. And we're going to want to do that throughout all the lines that we created for the folds. And to highlight those creases even more, I'm going in with the Prismacolor colored pencil in the color Tuscan Red, and I am just going over and shading those creases once again, adding some more dimension. And then I'm grabbing a white colored pencil, and where in between those creases and folds, I'm highlighting it with the pencil to create a more popping effect. And then afterwards, going back in with my Winsor Promarker, this time in the color Burgundy, and just coloring everything back in, just to blend everything out. Lastly, I'm adding some shadow lines behind the back portion of the skirt just to add some more dimensions, distincting between the front and the back part of the dress. And going back in and just highlighting some lines and creases. And after that, you are pretty much done with your sketch, and you have your final fashion illustration for the Zuhair Murad Spring 2025 Couture dress.